Now let's take a look at the overview of the process of reconstructing arguments. There's a series of steps that we're going to be taking every time when we reconstruct arguments. Some of them are a little bit more advanced as we get to the bottom. Don't worry about it. We're not going to do them initially, but we will be doing them. The first step is we'll determine if the passage contains an argument. We'll come back to this later on in the semester. That is, not everything that we read and not every passage we come across, even in this class, contains an argument. So first we have to determine that the passage actually contains an argument, and then the next step that we want to do is identify the conclusion. That is, figure out what is the point that the author is trying to get at. It sounds very straightforward and simple. It isn't, and it takes a lot of practice. You've had a lot of practice in your life, but we're going to have very targeted practice in the next few weeks about doing that. And then the next step is, once we've identified what the conclusion is, the point that the author is trying to get to, or the person who's giving the argument, could be a verbal argument, it could be on television, on YouTube, or something else. The next thing you want to do is, what are the assumptions that he's making? What are the premises that are intended to lead to the conclusion? And it's really step 2 and step 3 that we're going to be focusing on today. And finally, sometimes premises are unstated and they're kind of important. We'll get to that later in the semester. It takes a little bit more finesse, you might say, sometimes to figure out, and it takes a little bit more practice to figure out what's missing in the argument that we need to add to make it a better argument, or we should assume. So remember, today we're going to focus on step 2, identifying the conclusion, and step 3, identifying the premises.